You could ask anything, and I would be there for him,
Respects her fans.
The only reason you have the house you have is because of your fans.
Now she spends an hour with you. Anastacia on the radio on Mercury FM.
This is Sally and Kevin. Well, we're speaking to somebody with an amazing voice who, since she burst on the scene in 2000, has already sold over, get this, some 20 million albums. That's over 3 million and counting in the UK alone. She is the 9th best-selling artist in the UK this millennium, and she's just released Pieces of a Dream, the greatest hits album. We are talking to the one and only Anastacia.
Hello, Sally and Kevin, darling.
Hello.
How are you doing, Fab?
Oh, we're fabulous. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. Good. You're looking fabulous. It's fabulous.
But you've been working hard of late, Anastacia.
Yeah. So I've been. I'm putting out the greatest hits. Go figure.
Yeah, no, I read somewhere that you weren't particularly convinced that you wanted to release this.
You're absolutely right about that. It was, it took a lot of prodding from the record company to convince me that I actually, in my life, have done enough to actually put out a greatest hits. And lo and behold, they showed me chart positions, and they showed me, this and that, and I go, okay, fine, so you guys are right.
Obviously, some artists, Anastacia, treated greatest hits as the end of chapter 1, and maybe the start of chapter 2. Is this how you're treating this release?
You know what? I still, to this day, I'm not treating it as an end of a chapter. I still just sort of am treating it like a body of work that I'm presenting in a way that is showing the shift of my, I guess, my womanhood more than my artistry. I feel like, I'm coming into a different phase of who I am as a woman, and that also, changes who you are as an artist a little bit, It's a very feminine packaging, more than, straight up leather and a midriff, you know what I mean?
It all began 5 years ago with I'm Out of Love. What is it? Oh, how does it feel when you hear that record now, Anastacia?
What a fun song it is to sing. I really still have to admit, I'm so glad it's my song. The energy that comes from any audience that I sing it from is just tremendous, and I'm really lucky. I'm very, very lucky. Your first song can be a curse in your life, and you have to sing it for the rest of your life, So I'm just blessed that I really enjoy that song, and it's just a joy to know that I can still sing it with a smile on my face.
Anastacia on the radio. Anastacia on the radio. With music controls, Sally and Kevin on 102.7 Mercury FM. Presents 1 hour of Anastacia.
We all know what you've been through in the last couple of years, Anastacia. You obviously have fought successfully breast cancer. How did that period, though, affect your music, particularly your lyrics?
It's interesting that when writing the Anastacia album, I started writing, and of course the first song was Heavy on My Heart, which was completely and utterly about breast cancer and what I went through and everything that I went through. And then I got worried. I'm like, oh God, is this going to be the Ode to Cancer album? I'm like, I hope I'm not going to sit there and just write some, sappy old cancer album. And I really didn't have too many other songs in me that needed to express what I went through. Everything else was really about different experiences, whether it's Welcome to My Truth or Left Outside Alone. All of them had different storylines than what I was actually going through. They were just all, a different phase of what I wanted to say. The music itself, I think, is what people were surprised at the change that I made, because they didn't expect it. But I was ready to make that change in 2002. But when cancer came, obviously, everyone thought it was the cancer that changed the music. However, I had lined up these producers in 2002 that I wanted to work with, and had sort of invented a word so that I could help them help me try to search for the sound that I wanted to try to blend with my voice, So, me and Sprock have become best friends at this point.
I do love that, Sprock.
Yes. For those who don't know, that's soul, pop and rock, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that big comeback single, of course, was the massive hit Left Outside Alone, which is on the album.
Yes, it is on the album. Absolutely. Do you want to play it?
Yes, please.
Beautiful thing.
I'm itching. It's Left Outside Alone from Anastacia.
Go for it.
102.7 Mercury FM presents 1 hour of Anastacia.
It's Sally and Kevin. We're talking to Anastacia.
Who's so not left outside along with you two chicks. I'm telling you, you're a bundle of laughers.
You were recently at the MTV Awards over in Lisbon.
Yes,
Robbie was there, and so many other, some big male stars.
There were some fabulous people there. It was just a slew of stars. I'm really impressed with this year's EMAs. I loved Borak, the host, did a fabulous job. It was, the lineup was amazing as performers, and I think they did a really stupendous job,
Who did you most like watching? Who do you think was the best performer of the night?
Now, here comes the honesty. I was there for 5 seconds, and I had to fly away. And the truth comes out, but I'm bummed. They put me on at the beginning of the show because I had actually to fly to France and do 2 shows the next day. Right. And so, because the airport closes and yada, 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 that's why I went on at the beginning of the show right after Madonna, which was actually, not a bad moment in time to sit there and be on the side of the stage watching her shake her thing. I actually felt like a fat cow, but, compared to the MD of the world,
Are you a massive Madonna fan, Anastacia?
Oh, my God. Who is not a Madonna fan? Even if you don't like her, you like her. You know what I mean? Like, she's just too wonderful. Of course I love Madonna. I've loved her even when I didn't love her. Even if I didn't know I loved her, I loved her. It's like, how can you not?
Anastacia on the radio. Anastacia on the radio. With music controls, Sally and Kevin on 102.7 Mercury FM. Anastacia.
This is Kevin Hughes and Sally Bailey, and we are still with the one and only, the divine Anastacia.
Now, you're a big fan of Madonna, but I think you're a completely different style of performer. A friend of mine was lucky enough to go to Amsterdam recently to see you perform, and not only did she say you were an amazing performer, and just every song just had the same amount of energy, but you have an incredible relationship with your fans.
I only know what I do, so I'm always very shocked when people are telling me the stories that they have with other people not caring about their fans, or other people that just disregard or, don't appreciate even the record company or even the interviewers. I get fascinated by that because you're in this industry, and the only reason you have the house you have is because of your fans and because of the press and the media and the record company, and it is a team effort of the relationship you need to have. I really, I've got some really great fans. They are so dedicated and they are so kind. I must admit, not one loony bird. I don't have a loony. I don't.
How has that happened?
I don't know. I think all the healthy people me. I'm really quite lucky. I've never been scared. I have never been, at a moment where I'm like, no death threats, no crazy things in my life so far to this day. I've been very, very lucky that I've got some amazing kind of fans that just I get a kick out of.
Oh,
that's good.
Are there days, though, Anastacia, where you might be feeling not quite 100%, but then somebody's come quickly at you on the street, or you're getting into a car, they want an autograph, they want a photo. How do you deal with that?
I'll always give it. I'll always give it. I may not feel all that great, but 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, off a bus, whatever. I'll give it unless I have to go do a radio show, unless I'm running to go do something because the time is tight. Is the only time that I'd run by a fan and not necessarily autograph so. It's just not something that I do. And in the years that I will continue doing my career, if I ever become tainted in any way, I don't think I'd want to continue singing, because I would never want to make people feel like they didn't matter,
That's because you're lovely.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, my God, Sally.
You're lovely, you are.
You're lovely.
102.7 Mercury FM. Still to come with Anastacia on the radio. The Botox treatment.
I completely felt like I couldn't express myself.
Her underwear.
I wouldn't show anything because I was too paranoid.
And designing costumes for the Black Eyed Peas.
I had to make sure that the lovely lady knows it was all over the shirt.
Anastacia on the radio on 102.7 Mercury FM.